Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 24 of the League One Review Show. This evening, I'm joined by the regular Punk Chef 41, who is below me on the screen. Evening, Jake, how are you?
Evening, I'm not bad. I'm a lot better now I'm doing this. I'm not having to be held hostage by a 4-year-old on whether she wants to eat a dinner or not. I got the big tub of ice cream out the freezer, put it in the middle of the table, and went, if you eat your dinner, you have that. That's why I was late.
Bribery. Love it. And you'll also see to my right on the screen is Lizzie. Welcome to the show, Lizzie. You've been on a few times from the women's supporters group at Doncaster Rovers. We've got a representative at her game too as well within the women's supporters group. So welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, brilliant. Thank you. We're getting close to International Women's Day now, so that's why I'm here, I think. The Gillingham game is the fixture that falls closest for us, and I can't reveal too much, but we are doing some very exciting things on that day.
Nice.
So should be a right laugh. Should be really fun. Yeah.
You're allowed to reveal as much as you want.
Before we get into the
group.
League One chat, I just want to check, has anyone seen the Ben Pringle interview he did with the lads under the cosh?
No, I haven't yet, actually, but I do.
There's a clip going around where Steve Evans is talking about it.
No.
Goes, at Crawley, we did this, and apparently one of the lads turned around and said, can you shut the off about Crawley? We're not Crawley.
You know my thoughts. You know my thoughts on Steve Evans on this show. You know my thoughts on him. Yeah. Well, I'll try not to get too angry straight away.
What a waste of a man.
Yeah, something like that.
If you are new to the show, as always, please get your comments in and we'll try and go through as many as possible. But what we do on the show is we go through League One from the past week. We've got some midweek fixtures. Jake, you're sat out on this one, but we will talk about Fleetwood's pitch over the midweek and your pitch. We'll be getting onto that on the Saturday fixtures.
Talk about my pitch. I'm sick of talking about my pitch.
But from a Rovers point of view, episode 24, and this is probably one of the first positive kind of double headers for Rovers. It's not fully what we wanted. We didn't get the 6 points that we desperately needed, but unbeaten this week, we'll take that. So, like I say, comments, get them in. We've got a couple. We've got Captain Nat evening, and we have got George Colliver as well, actually at the start for once rather than the end. Well,
yeah,
welcome.
I keep doing that. I keep thinking it's 6:30 and then turning on and like, oh, right, you're on like the last game.
We kind of keep forgetting to promote it a little bit quicker than we should do.
Yeah, it is what it is. To be fair, I'm not normally here for the start of the stream either. So, on to the midweek fixtures. So, if you want to jump in on any of these score lines, please do. But we'll fly through them. Gillingham managed a 0-0 draw with AFC Wimbledon. Wycombe getting beat 3-1 by Wigan. Ipswich 0, Cheltenham 0 as well. Good result for Rotherham and a good result for Doncaster in this one, with Rotherham beating Morecambe 2-0. Another good result for the Rovers. Crewe getting beat 1-0 by Oxford. One Rovers vlogs in the chat as well. Evening,
Charlie.
And ladies, always nice to be involved.
Cambridge beating Plymouth, which is a fantastic result, 2-0 midweek. MK Dons beating Charlton 2-0, which puts them in contention for top two. Sunderland only managing a draw with Burton, but things seem to potentially be turning for Sunderland after this weekend's result. Shrewsbury getting beat 2-1 by Portsmouth. Bolton beating Lincoln 3-1, which is another good result for us. But Lizzie, floor is open for you to talk about Doncaster Rovers and Accrington Stanley.
Yeah, well, did you expect it? Because we've never beat Accrington in the league in our history, I don't think. So
it's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I went into that game thinking this is going to be dodgy. This could be a real banana skin. You know, after the Wednesday game, you wonder how you're going to if you're going to bounce back, if you're going to be able to, do what we've done so weirdly, consistently, in an inconsistent manner under Gary McJeffrey, where we seem to get hammered and then do all right, and then see if it was just brilliant. Josh Martin's goal was, I don't really know if it was good or not. I don't know if it was just the wind or
it was
if it was
fortunate, wasn't it? A massive deflection which takes it over the keeper. But for me, a generally poor game from both teams.
Yeah. They weren't very good, and normally they always seem to do a number on us, but they didn't look half as good as they did when we played them at the beginning of the season or in seasons past. Yeah. It was just very strange. I mean, nice to see Ollie was celebrating like he just won the World Cup after beating Accrington Stanley as well. He's quickly becoming a fan favourite, isn't he? So yeah,
Just
nice
take
to
your
win.
wins where you get them.
Yeah,
Come on.
absolutely, especially in the position we're in.
Yeah.
Now suddenly we're in a lot better position than I would have thought we'd been in when we lost to Fleetwood and Morecambe in January. So generally it's pretty positive, isn't it? Very exciting.
Yeah, I think before this week I'd have taken 4 points from 2 games, especially like you say with our history against Accrington Stanley. George, I expected 1-0 Accrington with them score early and just hold on like they did earlier in the season.
I think we all expected that.
Yeah.
I did not think we were going to win.
Stanley are weird at the minute. They're going through a really weird transition where I think they're trying to redo how they play a little bit. If you've noticed recently, they're starting to play a bit more expansive and try and get more goals. So this was a bit of a surprise, but it's a great result for you guys. It's getting you the points that you need on the board. And Donny could pull themselves out of this now, which I'm really happy to see because you're putting a fight in and that's all you ask for as a fan.
Yeah,
as long as you put a fight in when you're near that bottom section, you're not bothered. If you go right down with a whimper, you're like, well, you didn't try and I've just spent all my cash following you all season. Cheers for that. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, we've said it a few times, haven't we, Jay, where I don't want to go down. I want to stay in League One, obviously. But if we are to go down, just to go down throwing punches, I'd take that, especially with the start of the season that we've had. And to pick up results like this, I mean, beating Sunderland, beating MK Dons, I mean, Jonathan's in the chat as well. A 9-point week for them, but still can't beat Doncaster. It's not for everybody, Jonathan.
Well, I feel like if you told us, at Christmas that we would get as many points out of that run of games we had in January and early February as we did, I would have not believed you because I thought we'd be relegated by this point in the season.
I was looking at the game when you played us and I thought you might have been dumb then. I was saying at the time, I don't know if you're still going to be in with a shout to stay up.
Yeah, me neither.
You're putting in the fight and that's all you ask for. And
we're playing a lot better as well.
You had a good January transfer window as well. You brought in the players you needed. They all seem to be singing off the right hinge sheet. And the thing is, because you haven't gone and got someone brand new who ripped up the system, gone for something completely different, they've just gone and carried on what was already there and just built on it. And I think that was the smartest move you did. As much as some of your fans don't want him in charge, it's actually, in terms of like continuity and keeping things level, it's actually quite a smart move.
Yeah, I think McSheffrey just is such a contrast to Wellens as well. The way they just look so much more motivated than they did before we sacked Richie. So that's always a positive.
I think Gary is a bit more of a kind of people person in terms of he manages the individual, and I think behind closed doors he probably cracks a whip or he dangles a carrot, or
he lets Frank Sinclair do the shouting.
Yeah, it's like good cop, bad cop.
I will say this now though, he comment he made about us our player being on 40k. The highest player on our team is 21, and that's Barry Bannon, who is actually our player. It's still ridiculous for League One, don't get me wrong, but we're nowhere near 40k. And that wound a lot of the Wednesday fans up because it made him sound a bit like Chris Wilder. Because it used to be the Chris Wilder quote every time.
To be fair, I'd heard rumours that Bannon were on 30 to 40. But
he took a massive pay cut when we went down, but there's an incentive if we go up. Right. He's on like 22, but I believe it's Bailey Peacock Farrell who's on the highest amount. But
that doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me at all.
That's popped up in the chat again. Evening. No, wrong one. Sorry. No. Fancy us for playoffs. For Sheffield Wednesday, would you agree with that at the minute, Jake? It's going well.
Where we're going, yes. We're picking up much needed points. When you look at our running that we got to the end of the season, we've got to play MK Dons and we've got to play Wickham. The rest are all teams down near the bottom, but they're normally our bogey team, so we've got to pick the points up. But Darren Moore, as he said in his thing, he changed what was a broken club when he came into it into something that's a little bit humming. And the thing is, people saying he should get manager of the month, and I don't want him to go near it. The last person who got manager of the month got sacked.
I think it's really interesting with regards to the way you guys are doing at the minute, because I was saying to my dad earlier, the season that got curtailed, Dan, when Moore's first season with us,
Yeah.
At this point, that is exactly how we were playing, exactly the way the Sheffield Wednesday team are playing, getting close or, contending with the playoffs, looking like you were going to maybe go up. And I honestly think if that season had gone on, we'd have made the playoffs and we'd have given it a good go.
Yeah.
And I think Darren Moore is doing that with you guys now. And it's nice to see, bless him. Although I wish he'd not hammered us.
The thing that we got is that for a lot of Wednesday fans, they see Darren Moore because he's not a big name with a big club. They think, it's not working, but he's just going about his business. And the thing that people have said on the Wednesday side, they've gone, he's too nice. He's not a proper manager. But you look what he did at Donny. You're nearly there twice.
Yeah.
He's very good at building things. And if you give him the resources, they'll do it.
I don't think he should have been dismissed from West Brom either. I think that was really unfair.
That was really cruel considering the position they were in. And it's taken him a while to get, I don't want to say another big job in terms of Wednesday, but in terms of size of the club.
We get it, Jake. You support a big
we
club,
understand.
massive.
No. I hate that word massive. It does my head in.
Radio Sheffield.
What I would say about Darren Moore, though, was his reliance on loans. Now, I don't know if that's Darren Moore's philosophy in terms of bringing youngsters down from a Premier League club, potentially developing them and getting them on a contract later on. But I don't think that worked at Doncaster. But that might have been the board's philosophy, and Darren Moore had to stick with it. We don't know.
That's all he's had to do at Wednesday.
Well, it don't help with you guys.
Players.
Yeah, not being able to sign players for fees. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, I think, but also partly because Premier League teams want to send their players to Darren Moore, don't they? Because he's Darren Moore. He's really highly regarded for developing young players.
Yeah, it doesn't help your core squad, though, does it?
No. When you've got Barry Bannon earning 40 grand a year, it don't really matter, does it? 40 grand a week, it don't really matter.
Then you're throwing a Joe Byers and a Matthew Luongo in that midfield, you thought.
Yeah, exactly. But I think moving on to Saturday's games, we'll give Jake the floor. We'll start at Sheffield Wednesday, a good result against Charlton.
They never got out of second gear, Wednesday. Really just outplayed them, have most of the ball. They looked really poor. I don't know what's gone wrong with Charlton, but something gone wrong.
Yeah,
again.
definitely.
They are dropping. It's like they should have given Johnny Jackson, right, if you can keep us up, you've got the job next season to build.
Yeah.
It seems like all that bluster we started with, all the kind of trying to get things going, is gone. It was for us, it was really interesting. We're still in that kind of situation. We're waiting on Lee Gregory and Windass to come back. So we're relying on Patterson and Berahino. But that Berahino, since he got his goal and stuff, his touches are looking nicer. He's looking like the player we thought he was going to be. But it was very, very simple for us. And you talk about Matt Luongo and Bannon. They were the creators in the second goal. A good ball by Bannon to find Luongo, gets it to Johnson, who's been really good, and a great ball in. And it's a simple tap in. There's something at Charlton that's not right. To be fair, they should have had a penalty right near the end, though. It was a definite handball. If we had VAR, they would have got it, but it didn't get given. I felt kind of a bit unlucky for them. And there was a slight crowd issue with one of our stewards, and there's now an investigation stuff going, and it's ridiculous.
God.
Have you seen the stuff with Wednesday? You're not allowed to swear and all this lot.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange. What things prompted that then? I thought it was the rowdy MK Dons fans, but it might just be Johnson.
It's the mixture of the rowdy MK Dons fans. I think it's us trying to get our house in order a little bit because we've not been great on the road as well at club. We caused a lot of problems as well. But how the hell do you get a football fan to not swear?
You can't, can you?
You ban the entire stadium.
Yeah, apart from the kids.
Yeah.
And even some of them have got foul mouths.
The kids are worse for it.
I'm going to say some of the kids are the worst ones.
Your Max is terrible for it.
Don't tell his mum. So that's having his opinion out there as well for the Wednesday game. Midfield were good yesterday. Tackles and passing top notch. Thought Berahino looked good and strong. His touch has improved. So pretty much echoing what you've said, Jake. So
the big
Wednesday
thing for us is our defense.
In agreement that midfield's killing it.
Our big thing for us now is our defense is a lot more solid. Now we've got players coming back. We've got the likes of Iorfa coming back. We've got the likes of Dunkley coming back. We just need to get strikers back. If we can get strikers sorted, or do what Burton are doing, who are signing all these lovely free agents out of nowhere, which is insane. And if we can find one of them, that'd be brilliant. But I think we're just gonna see what we can do and just keep climbing, take each game as it comes, because we keep doing things like this, we may be able to be up there. And there's some teams in that top 6 that could just fluctuate out, who are still not that confident. So we'll see.
We will get onto one of those teams in a little while. But before we move on from this game, Tyler Rollinson, a very good content creator, go and check him out if you haven't already. But Tyler says, everything at Charlton is rotten. These players don't care. Jackson has no plan B. We're witnessing the worst Charlton side in history. I have no confidence in it getting better. So strong words from Tyler
I
there.
can't
We've
wait.
got them in a few weeks. So it's
I was just saying,
positive reading that from a Rovers point of view.
Yeah, it'll be nice that.
Yeah, I think
that's one of the games I've been thinking of as like one of our tougher fixtures before the end of the season. So to see them sort of trailing off the way they are, that gives me a bit of confidence that we might.
It's a bit more positive for the Rovers, but not nice for Tyler having to look through that.
No.
And they thought everything was going back to a better thing with the ownership and everything. It sounds like it just stayed the same.
Never know.
It's a shame, especially with such a big club as well. You know, massive following, nice stadium. Yeah. You don't want to see it happen to any club, do you? But...
No, definitely not. On to Wigan against Sunderland, a fantastic result for Rotherham fans. If there's any Rotherham fans watching, it's made those games in hand pretty much null and void now, because Rotherham are 9 points clear at the top thanks to a 3-0 win for Sunderland. 4th game in charge, and he's finally got a win. But I think the quick start helped, and obviously 2 penalties given. Thoughts on the penalties? Do you think they both were? Or
first one, definitely. Not as sure about the second one. Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Hey, we've got a new presenter. How much does she know about football?
How much do you know about football, Darwin? Don't know.
You're more than welcome on the channel anyway. So really it's a little bit rough, but for me, this is a big boost for Sunderland as it started to slip out of that top 6. We mentioned there were a couple of teams in there that could drop out. Do you think this has stopped the rot and they turned a corner, or do you think it's just a flash in the pan?
I guess we'll just have to see, won't we? I mean, I don't think they should have got rid of Lee Johnson, really. And when they didn't get Grant McCann in, I thought that was a mistake. But I mean, looking at that end of the table, it don't really make much of a difference to us. So it just
both these two teams are so inconsistent now.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
mean, I'm quite pleased that Wigan are going to bottle it. That'd be nice. I feel like MK Dons deserve to be in the top 2 more.
Yeah,
and kind of perform more consistently this season. I would like to see them get automatics, but who knows?
Long way to go yet. Moving on to Cheltenham against Crewe, I thought Alfie May and Matty Blair might have done the Rovers a favour. Hopefully they do us a favour next weekend. But they didn't do us one this weekend with a 2-1 defeat against Crewe. Odds on survival for Crewe, do you think they're done and dusted?
It's hard to say, isn't it? Because we thought we were done and dusted 2 months ago, and now I wouldn't say we are. So if they can pull off a result against Cheltenham, who are, pretty comfortable in the league, they're not going to go down, are they? That's a good result for them. Then fans must be delighted finally, to see a win. I know we have been, haven't we? Whenever we've won this season, and as much as it's crap for us, it's like
few and far between, haven't they? So when they do come, we enjoy them.
It couldn't really be a worse team for them to have beaten, though. Especially, like in and around us, it puts a bit of pressure on us for Saturday.
Yeah,
but maybe Cheltenham's defense is just not that good, is it? It's not as good as their attacking players. So I guess we'll just have to see.
No, I was surprised at this scoreline though, especially after the 5-5 at Wickham on last Saturday.
Maybe they kind of overdid it on that game. Maybe they used a lot of their. The thing is, Crewe are a bit like yourself. They're not giving up. They're still giving themselves a shot in the arm at trying to do something. And that's the thing where I still think it'll go till the end of the season. If you're playing like that, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we don't want it to go down to Oxford.
It's going to go to Oxford. I can just feel it. I can just everything about it just tells me that it's going to go down.
You feel like you're going to say something my nan would say. I can feel it in me water. I feel it in me bones.
It screams a Doncaster Rovers end to the season, though, going to the last day. It seems like
I said to you before we came live, it's like the 2014 season where it all went down to that last game. Just hopefully it won't end the same way with relegation.
We will see. But a fantastic result for Rotherham down at Plymouth. Michael Smith on the score sheet again. I believe that's 18 for the season for Michael Smith.
Ridiculous.
But
how is that even fair?
I know. A stat that I found absolutely astonishing was that Rotherham have conceded 5 on the road in the league. That's it, 5 goals conceded.
Their defence is so solid. That
is a different level of defence. And if Rotherham don't go up automatically, there's something very, very wrong. And
they got to drop like a massive stone for that to happen, though. I can't see it. I think they're very much already up in theory. Plymouth had a great chance to open it, and if that goes in, it may be a different story. But Plymouth are the no one. Like, I'm speaking to a Plymouth fan, I said that the only games I'm worried about is for us is when we play MK and Wickham. He said, "Are you not worried about us?" Obviously, I am, but we've played you so many times this season. I don't want to play you anymore. Kind of thing.
Yeah, you should know how each other play by now. But a fairly even game towards the top end of League One. Rotherham edging it on those fine margins, and Paul Warne came out and said that they've not played particularly well, but they've ground out results. And for me, that's how you win championships.
You know what made me laugh about that? He was talking about like the last 8 or 9 games, and he says, "Oh, and all of them were difficult." I was like, "Well, I can think of one that wasn't difficult, Paul."
Yeah, there's one that stands out. That was
I can think of one that was quite easy for you, actually, where you absolutely hammered a team. I can't remember who though, but yeah, that's how you win this league. You've only got to look at how we won it nearly 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
it was the same kind of football. Keep it tight, score a tap in, big lad up front. Easy.
It sounds so easy. Moving on to Morecambe against Ipswich, and this is a bit of a smash and grab for Morecambe, getting the point. Well, I say a smash and grab. They went 1-0 up, but the only 4 shots all game, 1 on target, less than 30% possession.
Also, new manager suddenly because he left, and it opens everything up now.
Can't stand Derek Adams as well. I don't like him at all. I can't believe they've like taken him back with open arms after him abandoning them in the summer to get some big money in Bradford, and then they've just like, come back, fine, fair enough. But I've noticed that
I feel sorry for Bradford. They've got Mark Hughes in charge.
Yeah, I know, and they got hammered yesterday as well, by all accounts.
Do you think Adams has got what it takes to keep Morecambe in League One though? Do you think
I'm going to
why
say
they've taken that risk?
I'm going to say no, because I want us to stay in League One. But there's certainly potential, isn't there? I mean, if it's a similar team to the team that got promoted out of League Two, they know how he wants them to play. They've got that kind of relationship with him already. It could be really beneficial for them, but we'll just have to see. I mean, I'm surprised that Stockton's not been on the score sheet. I feel like he's not scored as many over the last few weeks. So
he's gone missing a little bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, it bodes well for us, I think, as well. So
I also get with going back to what you already know in terms of the situation that they're in. It makes sense if you're not having to go in and rip things up and start again. And sometimes that works when you're in a relegation battle. Sometimes it doesn't. But credit to Ipswich, though, the goal was very good. He tried to backheel it at one point, and I was like, is he going to actually try that? But Ipswich are one of the ones that the dark horse for me that could get in it now, because they are playing some lovely stuff. But Morecambe, we said it before, Stockton goes missing, they don't seem to perform.
Yeah.
And he's gone missing a lot recently.
Hopefully that's positive for us coming into at the end of the season. On to Wimbledon against Doncaster. So I couldn't make this game, but Lizzie did. So the floor is yours once again, Lizzie. Tell us what happened, how did we do, and thoughts on the game.
Well, I would say it was a game of 2 halves, but it's more so a game of 50 minutes and 40 minutes, because that first 10 minutes of the second half we were also quite poor. You go to the new ground, it took us 6 hours to get there, just queued through London. So everybody was just in a mood that got there. We were all grumpy. None of us had eaten. We were hot. We were just bored. We were just awful. Got there, and then we didn't seem to. We were sort of playing in a similar way we have done against Accrington and Lincoln, sort of sitting back. And it wasn't really working. And then on 23 minutes, obviously they scored their first goal from a set piece, obviously, because as it is every time. And you could just feel like the spirit of the 700 odd fans that were there just like disappear, because I can't remember the last time we came back after we conceded a goal. I'm not sure we've done it very much this season. Even at Morecambe, 3-0 up, concede one, collapse. So at half time, I were in a right mess. Our feet, I were just like, I can't believe I've come all this way. We're gonna get hammered now. Floodgates will have opened. Heads will have gone down. Can't believe it. And then straight, 4 minutes into the second half, McCormick, who shouldn't have even been on the pitch.
No, that was a definite red.
Yeah, I didn't think it was when I was there, but having watched it back, I think I was sat at a bit of a difficult angle to see it. And yeah, it's just awful.
You see it back. He's not going for the ball. He's going to the player.
We're lucky that Younger just got up and dusted himself off and carried on playing, because it could have ended his career. It's not okay, is it? And
No.
there was a lot of that, a lot of kicking lumps out of our players. Throughout the second half, Tommy Rowe got a right battering off of so many Wimbledon players. And then with McCormick scoring, you just felt, well, it's just not going to go our way today, is it? And then I don't know what happened, but Tommy Rowe just decided we weren't losing.
I think Jonathan
decided.
Harris says it really well in the comments.
Absolutely. Right. How long have you been thinking of that one, Jonathan?
Literally, as soon as the game finished, he's probably been thinking about it. That's going in the chat.
Rowe, let me think. Yeah, it was just. He does
what a captain is meant to do. He goes, "I'm responsible. This is my team. Let's get us out of it." And if you've got that spirit in your captain, it bodes well for the rest of the team. But the rest of the team got to see it. And if he's got to lead by example on the pitch and off the pitch, if you're doing it on the pitch, show them a bit off the pitch as well. I don't know what your morality is like with your intelligent players off the pitch and how close they are to the unit. But these kind of things could be really helpful.
Yeah, I think it's getting better and better in terms of the closeness, Jake. Actually, I think that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed from McSheffrey's tenure, is that the players just seem so much more united. They seem like they're playing for each other and for the fans, which I don't think they were before.
You're not seeing as many leaks come out of your club anymore as well, because at one point you were seeing a lot of things coming out.
Well, it's because, I don't want to get too into it, but Richie Wellens likes to run his mouth to a lot of people. He's got a lot of good friends. Who's doing a lot of favours for and telling a lot of things to that he shouldn't be telling things to, I think. But yeah, Tommy Rowe was just brilliant. And Ben Jackson was so unlucky with that. He just ran the length of the pitch, just ran from their 18-yard box right down the pitch, just past defenders, amazing, and got there and we just couldn't fire it home, and we should have won it. And
could have lost it though as well.
Yeah, exactly. Such a big game. And if you told me that we would go 2-0 down and come back to get a point, I would not have believed you. So for me, it's nothing but positive. It would have been lovely to win it, but I would say it was more of a must not lose rather than a must win. Still 4 points from safety, easy games ahead of, in theory, ahead of us. So we've still got a good chance to, do this and just keep fighting.
We've still got a fighting chance. There's still a glimmer of hope of survival. But like you say, I think the positives that we need to take from this game is the fact that we went 2-0 down through poor defending. From what I've seen, 3 headers that should have been easily dealt with, in my opinion. Potentially that red card, if he'd been sent off, it might have made it a totally different game. Somebody said on Twitter,
about that as well, don't you? Like I was saying about the 2014 season when we got relegated at Leicester, there was decisions made during that season that cost us massively. Even from Mahrez diving in the box at their place just to get a penalty, or going right back to the Bury game where we let them walk it in. Those moments where it doesn't quite go your way are so massive when you're in the position we're in. But we'll just have to wait and see now. I'm still quite pleased though. I had a really nice day in the end. Their ground's awful. I'm never going again. I think I can't
positivity from Liam as well.
I can't help it. I come out of every week, every game that we don't lose, thinking we're going to stay up, and then if we lose, I think we're relegated. So I'm not the right person to ask.
I don't think Dan is either, because Dan's the same.
I love that a Barnsley fan comes into the chat as well now that they've started winning this season.
Yeah, nice one. That time.
Welcome to the show, Ryan. We love a little banter here.
It's probably working out which of our best players they're going to sign next season, just to kill our momentum as usual.
But yeah, positives from fighting back. I'd have taken
I'm really
4
pleased.
points from the 2 games this week for sure.
I would have expected it to be the other way around, but 4 points is still 4 points, isn't it? And
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure the players will be so relieved they didn't lose it, because they've consistently crumbled having conceded goals. Never mind 2. So I'm
Oh,
chuffed for 'em.
nappers.
Oh, this is so good. This is a great
nappers,
result for us as
indeed.
well.
He had about 40 minutes sleep from his Twitter feed, so it was having a bit of a nightmare already. But another 2 great content creators in COD's vlogs and 4-0 written all over it. I've seen both of those. But yeah, brilliant vlogs. Fleetwood going 3-0 up, and
Great goals as well.
yeah, I mean Paddy Lane's unreal,
Superb goal.
different level. But then just before half time, massive goal by Ronan Curtis from the penalty spot. I think if they've not scored that, it could be a different story altogether. A very good time to score just before half time. It changes the team talk in terms of we're now only 2 goals behind, get at them. But heartbreak on the 95th minute. And
Agent O'Brien keeping the Rovers up.
Yeah, I do feel for Nappers, I really do.
Because at that first half, they looked like they absolutely outplayed them, but this has been Fleetwood most of this season, though, hasn't it? They've managed to go ahead, then they're not managed to hold on to it, and defensive keep you up, defensive concentration, and Portsmouth. I still don't think Portsmouth can make it.
No,
I think there's still too much to do, but they're showing good signs for maybe next season, like a mini little rebuild. But Pompey are a weird one because I can never understand what their system or what their logic is of how to get out of this league, because they look like they're so close each time and then they manage to drop.
It's like an old pair of slippers for him, I think.
Quite happy just coasting through League One, aren't they? Which, fair enough, I'd love that. That's the dream. Just missing out on the playoffs every year. I love that. Makes it a lot easier.
I think that their inconsistencies are costing them this season. And I think under the Cowleys, I think they'll build something and potentially be
if they get time
pushing on next season.
They just need time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Portsmouth don't do well at giving managers time, do they?
No, but they really ought to, because the Cowleys will build the right community, and I feel like with a fan base as large as Portsmouth, that's only going to be massive long term. But what do I know?
What do we know? Indeed. Moving on to Burton against Shrewsbury. So Shrewsbury were winless in 8 coming into this one and ripped the form book up. And Burton, tough place to go in terms of kind of getting points. They've started to grind out results at home. But Shrewsbury did okay. Any thoughts on this one?
Cracking goal from the corner. Really well worked.
I really like Pennington as well.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I really like him. I also really like Shrewsbury's kit. That was something that really stuck out to me, like pink and black.
It kind of one of those kits that I may put into my collection because I like it. I really like the Hull's blackout kit as well. And there's certain kits that stand out in a season. You think that are actually quite quality.
I really liked it. Really liked it. I feel the same about Coventry's away kit as well. I think I just like pink away kits, but what can I say? A classic woman.
But this result has kind of eased any sort of, it started to ease worries for Shrewsbury. I believe they're down there. Let's just have a quick look at the table. I
think there's something like 17th or 18th, I want to say. They're just above Lincoln. 17th, smashed it.
Big result for them. Then
they're almost at playing flip-flops territory, aren't they now? Like hopefully by the time we play them, they'll have the flip-flops on and we might be able to get a result. That's what I was thinking.
We can hope. On to Accrington Stanley against Wycombe, and this is the second team that we were talking about in terms of potentially dropping out of the top 6. Wycombe, they were looking for the first win in 7, so winless in 8. And
the bottom of the form table, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just something's gone wrong at Wycombe, and they're just not finding. They were grinding out results at the start of the season where you look at them and it'd be 1 or 2-0 or 1 goal either way.
Yeah.
I do question, is off-field matters getting into them a little bit? Because they've still got the whole situation with the Derby compo. That is not sorted yet. And
that's
I don't know It's just a theory I've got because there were none of that earlier in the season. Now getting closer to the time, I don't know. I don't know if
That is interesting.
mindset changed or what, because you think about these things. Players you're told not to like think about off-field stuff, but there's got to be a part of them thinking, "What if?"
They've all got
Yeah.
phones, haven't they? And
Yeah.
sometimes you just stumble across it. You end up in like I'm trying not to look at the news, and I still managed to spend an hour this morning looking at stuff about Russia. And I'm trying not to. So surely footballers are the same in relation to their club, especially when you're in a situation like that. For me, this is another one that's similar to Charlton, which is making me feel slightly less worried about the Wickham game that we've got in the next few weeks, months, whenever it is. March, I think.
I'd agree with that. I mean, our away form's looking slightly better
it
than what it
is,
was
right?
earlier in the season. Wickham's form is falling, so maybe the stars will align and we'll get a bit of a shock result away from home. Who knows?
I hope so.
But nonetheless, very good result for Accrington Stanley, a team that will be smack bang in the middle of the table, I believe. Moving on to MK Dons against Bolton, and it's no mean feat to beat the best team in the league. You can't beat Doncaster Rovers, but beating the best team in the league, for me, you deserve to be exactly where you are. And this is unbeaten in 8 for MK Dons.
Ridiculous. What was the game that they were last beaten in? Does Jonathan remember?
Jonathan, in the chat, please.
Just let us know last time MK Dons lost.
Please remind us. But Jake, this is one of the teams that you're trying to chase down to get into the top 6.
Yep.
Do you think they're a bit too far away from you? And do you think they've got what it takes to break into that top 2?
I think they've got enough to get top 2. I don't think Wigan are consistent enough. I think MK Dons are more consistent, they're more clinical, and Scott Twine is just on fire at the minute. He's really good player. They play some really good football in MK Dons, and they're not given enough credit for me for what they're doing and how they're building. Look at the window they had. They had a really good window. They've got Corbin, who we had. They've got Wickham,
Matt Smith,
stupidly quality for this league if he can stay fit. And as we said in the past, if you want to beat Bolton, you have to just put up what he said. But MK Dons don't need that at the minute. They've got enough motivation to just keep it ticking.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I honestly think they'll go up automatic, and if they don't, then they'll win the playoffs. They've just got the depth of squad they have as well. Like, if one of their strikers gets injured, they've got so many players who are just as good that could come in, similar to sort of Rotherham in that sense. Like, they're just. I don't understand how we've done the double over them, to be honest, because every game except against us, they have looked unbelievable this season, and I'm just weird.
Oxford was the last game they lost in December.
We played them in January, didn't we?
I think.
I can't remember. February has been an absolutely ridiculous month.
We definitely played them in January because Kieran Agard played. We signed him in January, so it definitely was us that they lost.
Yeah, it was you actually. Yeah, you're right. 22nd.
I thought so. Like, I swear it was after Christmas.
Yeah, Claire's just dropped into the chat. 22nd of January last time MK Dons lost, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right, Claire.
And I've just noticed Anthony's in the chat as well. He's flexing a little bit as a Huddersfield fan, doing very well in the Championship.
They have no scraps in the chat this week.
They were in the top 2. Fantastic. So Anthony is very happy. 2 more games left to look at. Oxford 4, Cambridge 2. So Matt Taylor, bit of a cheat code, isn't he? He's just scoring for fun.
He scores the same goal every week.
Score sheet.
Yep.
He scores the same goal every week. Every week. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You would have thought everyone would have learned how to defend it by now.
Well, that was his 17th goal this season, so people clearly aren't learning.
There's a lot of players who have scored more goals than Rovers have this season. Like, a lot of players.
Yeah.
They played Cambridge, though. They went ahead. They looked like they kind of had a game plan, stuck to it, but Oxford did what Oxford have been doing this season. It's just scoring for fun.
Yeah.
I think this is the second or third or fourth time I've seen a 4-2 goal line with them.
Yeah, and they were saying that, weren't they, on Quest?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous how good they are in front of net. And I think that they're in playoffs, surely.
Yeah,
It worries me for the final game of the season because I do believe that potentially the
it'll go
whole
down to them.
relegation thing is going to go until that final game, and we're at Oxford. So you don't want to be going to a free score in Oxford when you're fighting for survival on the final day of the season.
No, probably
Oh,
not.
poor Jake. He was hoping to get points on this one and all.
Yeah, he wasn't happy, was he? Saw
No.
Jake on Twitter not being too pleased in this performance or result. But Harris doing fairly well for Gillingham.
Yeah.
I saw Gills in the Blood put a tweet out with plenty of stats about points per game and stuff, and Harris has started very, very well.
So
Massive
annoying.
6-pointer down at the bottom of the table. And
It's the last
Lincoln,
thing we needed.
are we worrying about Lincoln or worrying for Lincoln?
I'm worrying for them, yeah. Since we played them, they've just not looked that same quality. But
No. And
I mean,
they had chances. There was a great shot from Maguire and got on the line, and it just doesn't seem to be dropping for him at the minute for whatever reason, kind of thing. It just seemed to be really struggling. And the fact that Gillingham are starting to come into a little bit of form now must be a bit worrying for you guys down there, because if Harry can get on playing the football they're playing again and grinding results out, surely there's an opportunity to take it. Like Ben Thompson's stupidly good for this league. A great acquisition to get him from Millwall, but the Millwall link's there, so it makes sense. And the way he got that ball into the box for the first goal was superb.
Mm.
Yeah, and then put the cherry on the top with the 90+1 winner.
Yeah, makes me nervous for 2 weeks' time when we play them.
Yes,
is it 2 weeks'
me
time?
too.
So.
Yeah, we've got
12th
Cheltenham
of March.
Saturday, Gillingham on the 12th of March.
I think it's it's scary.
Yeah. Before we move on to the table and finish off for tonight, Anthony has put in, so ITV are taking over the highlights from Quest. Do they take Colin Murray or get rid? Me personally, I would take Colin Murray. Andrew says he boils his piss.
What? I will fight him.
Colin.
I love Colin Murray. I would have his
I think
kids
Andrew
be.
doesn't want Colin Murray on ITV.
In fact, I really like Colin Murray. I like
What a
his
man.
radio shows he does as well in Fighting Talk. He's really good quality, and he don't get enough credit for good presenter he is.
He knows so much about League One. I love it. He'd like, when I just remember like the Football League show, there was so little coverage about League One and League Two, and it didn't matter because we were in the Championship, so like we were getting covered quite regularly. If God forbid, it could just become a Championship fest when it moves to ITV. And Colin campaigned so much to get that hour of League One and Two when they first started doing it on Quest, and I think that's brilliant because you can listen to people who actually know what they're talking about and care.
It's a bit like Mark Clement at BBC.
Yeah, very much so. But to be honest, I would have his kids. I think he's like the dream. He's so great, man. Love him.
I like how he gets the guys from the podcast on though as well.
Yeah, I do. I've heard there's a really good YouTuber podcaster type guy who would be a great co-host on there. And Daniel Pierce, some Donny, I don't know.
I'll take it.
As long as they just don't go looking at your Twitter timeline. That's all I'll say.
Keep dogs away.
Yeah.
He's an animal lover, but don't let him know.
So to finish off the video, because we are nearly at 45 minutes, we will take a quick look at the table, and it's not looking as bad as it has done for a while for Rovers. It's so tight down at the bottom. The one thing I worry about is the games in hand. I know people say it's better to have points on the board than games in hand. The games in hand are against teams who are up at the top end of the table as well. So the likelihood is that the teams around us aren't going to pull points from those. But at the same time, we wouldn't have said that we'd have got 3 points at MK Dons or 3 points at Sunderland. So
I'll tell you now, start of January, you on 29 points gives you a hell of a lot of good chance to get out of this. I think you've got enough now. You're showing the fight, you're showing the belief. There's enough there to get you out of this. And you're just gonna pray Gillingham Morecambe new manager bounce doesn't last long.
Yeah. I mean, Fleetwood could get dragged. Obviously, we're playing quite a lot of the teams in and around us. We've still got Crewe, Gillingham,
Crewe,
Fleetwood to play, Shrewsbury as well, Charlton. It's not over. And
Burton, Cheltenham. So we are literally playing
almost all of the bottom half.
Yeah.
The only two that are in the top half that we're playing for the rest of the season, I believe, are Oxford and Wickham. And Wickham aren't doing that well. So for me, the scary game is Oxford last day of the season, and maybe Gillingham as well.
Yeah.
But
hopefully
it
it's
just
done
makes me
by
nervous.
Oxford. Hopefully we're 4 points out of it. No drama. Happy days.
It's Doncaster Rovers, Daniel. You know that's not going to happen.
No, it's going to be down to the last minute, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
very tight at the bottom. Twists and turns are incoming. Moving on to the top of the table. Rotherham, ridiculous. What
So for
can
me,
we
that's
say
the
that we
top
haven't
six.
already said about Rotherham? It's difficult as Rovers
Yeah.
fans and Wednesday fans to heap praise on a team, but you've got
He
to.
knows how to
respect it, haven't you?
do League 1.1.
They are good, aren't
They
they?
know how to do it. They didn't need to put too many. If they're going up this season, and once you go, give it a proper crack this time.
Honestly.
Stop trying to do this. Oh, we're going to be a bit careful with what. Go and give it a crack. You got the players. You're too good for League 1. You get to like 14th or something next season in the Championship, and then build on that. Do a Luton. They've got the resources to do so. We're doing like bit by bit. I think they've got enough to stay in a Championship.
Well, surely the money from so many promotions and selling so many good players over the years, there's got to be some incentive to try and give it a proper go. But I don't know. I think that's the top six, by the way. I think that is how it's going to. I think MK Dons will finish second, but other than that, I think your playoff places are confirmed there. Like, I think Wednesday will stay in the playoffs, and I think Sunderland and Oxford will as well.
I hope we can, because I predicted it'll be mid-table this season. So
I just think
nice to think.
Darren Moore's got it working now. I just think it'll be like us 2 seasons ago if the season hadn't ended, and
I think Plymouth, Wycombe, and Ipswich are the ones where Ipswich are starting to find form, but Wycombe and Plymouth are very inconsistent at times. They can't seem to get it right, and we're not that inconsistent. But we did have a period where we went on a 12-game unbeaten run, but we didn't win. We can get the points. So at the minute, points,
like 10 of those 12 were draws, weren't they?
Yeah. And quite a lot of them, they scored in like the 95th or 96th or stupid minute, and we couldn't defend from the 80th minute. We finally sorted that, which is nice.
Yeah.
Our big one, if we can get Windath and Lee Gregory back fit, because Windath had a great start and he only came back and he already bagged 4 goals and he hadn't started the entire season. So if he can come back fit, it'll be a blessing. But for us, the big one being Joe Byers in the midfield and Matt Luongo, they just make it work.
Yeah.
Byers has only come back since January. He's already got 4 goals.
Ridiculous.
So from us, we think Rotherham are where they're going to finish. Top 6 are pretty much in the order that they're going to finish. MK Dons and Wigan is contentious, maybe switch them 2 around, but yeah, the table is definitely taking shape with only 10 or so games to play.
Oh my God.
God, Jesus, that's really creeping.
Gone fast, hasn't
I
it?
don't like it. I don't like it. It makes me nervous.
The start of next season will be here sooner than we know. But
whether it'll
depends.
be Jake
will we all be in League 1 or not? We might be 2 divisions apart. Who knows?
Yeah, exciting. It's all to play for, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's where I'm going to leave this one. Hope you've enjoyed watching along at home. If you're watching on the repeat, please comment in the section down below. We do try to get back to you, even if it is on the repeat. A big thank you to Lizzie and Jake for joining me tonight. Thank you for being on the show, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, always enjoyed being on it. It's part of my Sunday ritual. And if I ain't got this next season, I'm going to have to make a new one.
Steal all of his views.
We can have like a 5-minute championship segment or League 1 segment, depending how it all pans out. As always, please head to the description to see these guys' socials. Follow the Facebook page and Jake on Twitter and YouTube and all the rest of it. I've not plugged the charity game. Don't forget, 7th of May, Doncaster Rovers versus Sheffield Wednesday Legends at the Eco Power Stadium. Tickets are £6 for adults, £3 for kids, £12 for families. That's 2 adults, 2 kids. The Rovers box office will sell you those, or
it's a bargain. What you're doing, it'll go to a good cause. Come on.
Yeah, it's a great day out. You're guaranteed to see goals as well, and see me make a fool of myself, which is just an added bonus.
Absolutely.
So, beautiful. So
to be fair, we all got to see that when he made a stupid tweet. So
Yeah, I've kept that one pretty quiet this year.
Yeah, we all saw a lot more than we expected to see Dan after that tweet, didn't we?
Yeah, unfortunately.
You started going to the gym a little bit more after that.
Oh,
Yeah, I've lost a little bit.
Maybe we should all do it. Maybe
I think
that'll.
we should end the show here before it gets any worse. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, big thumbs up for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe to me and these guys if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
See ya.